Hello from Barcelona. We are in the Solar Orchard Garden. That is one of the projects that are showing here in Barcelona for Arts Electronica 2020 during this amazing curatorial project that is Kepler's Garden. In our garden we have developed several projects to show online and also to show to the people that is visiting us in Espronceda Institute for Art and Culture. Let me introduce first our institution, Espronceda. Espronceda is an independent art center and artist residency here in Barcelona, and we develop several projects in international cooperation with universities and other art centers, and also we are curating since 3 years ago projects related to art, science and technology. And now I'm very happy to introduce one of our exhibitions that is a collective exhibition. The name is Amazonia, the Gaia hypothesis. What is the Gaia hypothesis? The Gaia hypothesis was a theory that was developed in the 70s by the two scientists, Lovelock and Margulis, and they argue that the Earth is all the mineral and the living beings are a unity, because the equilibrium between both is created through microorganisms with minerals and create the atmosphere, the salinity of the seas, and all the equilibrium we could see we need for to live in the Earth. Additionally, we are now living very hard and difficult times due to the pandemic COVID, and these circumstances made think about what is the influence of humanity in the Earth, if we are really in an Anthropocene era, or really the Earth is controlling all the process. It seems like nature is controlling all the processes that are happening in the Earth. Because we can see now like a little virus is altering all the equilibrium we have created like humans. In this exhibition that is created by me, I invited several projects that goes from the current situation in COVID until the curiosity of the humanity has centuries ago, when they observe the sky and they are asking what is happening over there. We have projects that are based in the sounds of the space, other projects that are inspired in the rituals that the ancient cultures did about the equilibrium of this natural world and the humanity. Based in different technologies. We have the dome projection that is we will see later. Several projects are passing in a semi-spherical screen. This screen is a construction that was also an art piece, because it was done by a robot and design done by architects. And we have also other pieces that are augmented reality and an application, others that are based in performance, because we feel that also interacting with the digital is very important. Following during this emission in direct, we will invite the artists that are present here in Barcelona to talk about their projects. They will show you how it is inside the dome, and also we will create a debate. And finally, we will also talk about the innovation project we have in Espronceda, that is Stargazer. Stargazer is an interactive project between a real screen in the dome and the virtual wall in Mozilla Hubs. It was also a project developed between the international artists and technical developers that contributes that this amazing project is now alive. And now I'm happy to introduce the first artist that they are going to talk about this installation that is about the current situation of pandemic COVID. They are coming from Innsbruck, Austria, and I have the pleasure to invite them to speak with you, to Anne and Cenk. Please come to here.
Hello, everyone.
Thank you, Alejandro, for having us here today at Espronceda at the program of Ars Electronica program. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barcelona Garden, Solar Orchard Garden in Barcelona at Espronceda. Today we are going to present our project, which is an interactive installation called Above Human, that is displaying in real time the active cases of COVID data. It's a real-time data visualization project. But beforehand, I would like to introduce ourselves to give kind of an insight how we developed this project and what are you going to see in the next couple of minutes. So as Alejandro mentioned, we are two architects coming from Innsbruck, practicing architecture in a different sense, in a virtual platform usually. Our works kind of express and deals with the notion of human body and virtuality, and as well materiality of virtual environments. Now, Anna is going to explain the project Above Human, and later on, slowly, we will move into this full dome projection space to showcase the work and explain in the meantime how it is working and what are you going to see.
Hi, everyone. It's an honor to be here. Our project Above Human is, as Cenk explained, a spherical interactive projection mapping installation that displays the real-time data per country of COVID-19. The title of our work, Above Human, comes directly from the word epidemic. Epi in Greek means upon or above, and demos stands for people. So metaphorically speaking, epidemic is a force, a swarming force that enters and transforms another entity. It stands for the virus which entered and transforms our humanity, our worlds. So the virus, as we all realize, spreads, takes territories, leaves traces. It pulsates, it vibrates, and it interacts in and with the various spheres. Of course, first of all, the private sphere of everyone, but always also the public sphere, the infosphere, the economic sphere, the techno-capital sphere, and the psychosphere. Above Humans for us is an attempt to make this invisible force into something more graspable. It is meant to be not just an audiovisual installation, but more an active and communicative act, because this global, ungraspable entity of the virus flows here in Barcelona into the dome, into a local place to display its existence and merges into what is a place of coexistence, in line with Peter Sloterdijk's concept of spheres Spheres are seen as spaces of coexistence, meaning as spaces that deals with crucial information to develop a better understanding of humanity. This is what we are trying to display.
Exactly. Today we have the chance to display our work in a sphere, so it makes so much sense for us to be here. And before, actually we could give some more information or insight about how we started this project and why we started this project. So we can talk about the process maybe and explain how we developed it further. So in the beginning of the lockdown, after our first residency here in Barcelona in January, the month when we were back, the virus spread so much that we were all in lockdown. In that moment, we were all in communication, in contact with Helsinki and Barcelona, and we were having this Zoom calls with Alejandro, and we were speaking about, because we were kind of frustrated about the idea that we are inside, we are in lockdown, there is so much happening outside in kind of, in a weird sense, so much is happening, but nothing is happening at the same time. We were speaking with Alejandro, like how can we develop a project to make it visible? So we came up with this idea or curatorial concept of dealing with spheres in the public spaces, and we wanted to basically inform people in a different way about the spread of the virus. So that was the reason why we wanted to make audiovisual, interactive audiovisual installation that is based on the real-time data of COVID-19. And the first installation we kicked in Innsbruck. It was very nice, and we used a sphere, a full sphere in diameter of 3 meters. And then afterwards we heard that we have a chance to exhibit here in Barcelona in a full sphere. And also, like, during the process, like, we were kind of contributing and also collaborating with sound designers and interaction designers and philosophers. So it's actually a collaborative work, a body that grows. And we are very happy to be here today, to have the chance to showcase it. Maybe you can say a little bit about the technicality of it, like which kind of technologies we use and what's the idea behind it, like why we use motion capture devices and so on. Yeah.
The installation is based on motion tracking cameras. Without the presence of the body, nothing is happening. The virus, the real-time data of the virus displays through the presence of the spectators inside the dome, meaning that only when a person enters and then body the virus, this is going to be visible and is going to be interactive.
Yeah. Also, like when you said that it's based on the body, but there was another motivation when we started this project. We want this project to die, eventually to extinguish, right? Like, because it's based on the real-time data and looks at the cases, active cases. So our idea, like, we realized that it's actually this installation must die, and at some moment when we enter this installation one day, we hope not to see any more interaction, any more, right?
The moment the virus is gonna die, the installation is gonna die, because only the number of particles that are activated inside of the system is corresponding to the number of active cases inside of a specific country that can be chosen. The moment, of course, the number of cases is going to decrease to 0, the installation is going to die. It's a paradox for an art piece, but it's interesting, I think.
Absolutely. And another fact that we were interested was, like, so the idea of the above human is kind of dealing with this post-human criticism, right? Like, to kind of displace the notion of human as the measure of all the entities, of everything, but then place different entities such as animals and virus and so on. So this was actually like one interesting moment that the installation embodies itself through the interaction with human, and hopefully it will die one day, but it's also audio reactive. So what I'm trying to say is that it's visualizing itself, it's displaying itself through human presence, So on top of the visual layer, there is another layer, which is audio layer, which is again interactive to human motion, that is acting as a synthesizer. And this synthesizer kind of gives somehow a soundscape. So we like the idea of speaking from architectural point of view, spheres and scapes or spaces. So for us, it's an epidemic sphere that regulates itself through datascapes or data flow and interacts with human motion within the installation. Perhaps slowly we could go inside the installation. We hope no technical problems will stop us. And we hope to see you inside. And of course, we're going to explain inside. Mohsen, could you please start the installation?
Let's go.
Okay. So I will guide you through the installation. Come on, come with me. Right now, what you're seeing is the number of active cases in Spain. And these active cases, or let's call them agents, populate on Anna's body through a depth camera, through a Kinect camera. And that, as you can see on the background here, if you look at Anna, then the soundscape it creates a sphere, a spherical environment or the visual environment around the human user. thank you. I think this was a nice demonstration, so we can go back and continue speaking about the project together with Alejandro Martin again. So thank you for being with us, and we are looking forward to seeing you.
Great, that was a wonderful first experience of our magnificent dome that is welcoming several projects during these days in Espronceda. And finally, I have a final question, because we are expecting audience here in live in Barcelona, but also we will show the work through a 360 camera to the audience. Please, Anne and Cenk, could you tell to the audience something more about the possibilities to interact with this group piece?
Yeah, of course. So, first of all, we wish you all were here in Barcelona and would be able to visit our installation and talk with us and exchange with us. We have built a wonderful atmosphere here the last couple of weeks, and it's a bit pity that we are showing you the cases in virtual platforms, but there's also beauty in that. What we are going to prepare for you, the visitors or the audience, is the next days we will share in our YouTube channel, Espronceta's YouTube channel, a 360 version of this experience. So we're going to capture the installation with the 360 camera, and you will be able to visit the recorded version of it, and hope to build an interaction with the installation in virtual platforms, which actually we started working on, and a glimpse of it we will speak soon again at the Stargazer Project. Thank you all so much for being with us today, and enjoy the rest of the festival.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Anne.
Thank you, Alejandro. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, we are very happy with the high quality of artists and projects and very brilliant minds we have here in Espronceda. And now it's a pleasure for me to present our resident artist. He came in February to Barcelona for our VR residency, and after the lockdown he continues here in Barcelona, working very hard, making a lot of projects. And today one of his projects, RTTT, will be shown also during this festival. Please, Mohsen, come here to the stage and tell the audience about your project. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hello, my name is Mohsan Azrati. I'm digital artist, media artist from Iran, Shiraz. And thank you so much, Alejandro, and all the people in Espronceda and MNC residency. Yeah, as Alejandro said, I came to Barcelona in February, and then during the lockdown I stayed here and developed some projects in the continue of my residency. And one of the projects that I developed at this time is the project that I will show it here. And about my background, I started with graphic design from about 13 years ago, and in this like almost 7 years I'm focused more on media art and to being as an artist or curator sometimes. In 2013, me and my friend Milad Fuzande, we started a new project in Shiraz, Iran, called Darul-Hukumat Project. It's about digital art and finding potentials of digital art in the country and Shiraz. And also we start some collaborations in our project, and then in this almost 2-3 years I focused more on my artistic career and my projects. In my projects, I'm more focused on the culture and specifically literature of Shiraz, my city in Iran, and like poets like Hafiz and Saadi, which are really inspired by their poetries and their mystical like poetries and concepts that they bring to this literature, and I'm really inspired by these poetries in my project. The project that I had in my mind this project, but during this residency, this additional residency in Espronceda, I work on is called RTTT, R and 4 T's, And this project is about the importance of mirrors and reflections in Iranian literature and culture somehow. And because we have mirror and reflections mentions many times in many aspects in our literatures, like sometimes as a metaphor or as a water, as many things. And there are so many creative metaphors about mirrors and reflection. And as well, we have a really important seat of mirrors and reflections in our architect, and it's really important. And in this project, I try to work and have some researches on this concept. And regarding to a technology in most of real-time game engines and even 3D softwares, which is called RTT, render to texture. And I just try, in this project, I just try to make a connection between this concept that are in our literature and this technology in 3D softwares. In this technology in 3D softwares, which is called RTT, it's about putting a camera in a corner or in a place of the scene and take the image that this camera recording and put it as a texture to an object. So that means each object in the scene could represent a new world or a different world or a different aspect of the current world inside themselves. And it's so near to what mentions in our literature already. And I think there are so many points in common that I can connect them and find some new creative ways of talking about mirrors with digital technology. And the project that I'm presenting in the Doom is somehow, it's not the finish, because this project is on developing and ongoing, and I need to develop it so much more. But the version that I showing here is included 7 stages with seven different aspects of working with render to texture technology, with 7 different meanings that mentioned in the literature. And yeah, we can go and see some parts of this project. This specific piece is about a story that mentioned in one of Hafez's poetries, which is about parrot and how parrots teach to speak. In this story, it said that they put a mirror in front of parrots and talk behind the mirror. And parrot think about there is another parrot on the other side of mirror and start learning how to talk. And for this piece, I inspired by this concept and used some models of parrot, and they have some render to texture inside their eyes. And for this render to texture, I simulate somehow a camera or virtual camera inside this 3D world. There is a virtual camera inside this 3D world that captured a render to texture and shared it to all the objects in the scene. So it's somehow also related to the concept that there is one source and this source is spread in all the objects, and every single object can represent a new or other aspect of the scene. Yeah, and as you see, it's one of the stages of this project, and as I said, there are 7 different stages, but the base of all the stages is this concept, and yeah, right now we are going to load the other stage in the drone. It's fine.
Waiting for the next scene, just a couple of seconds.
Yeah, as you can see, there is a camera in this side of this scene, and it's somehow a virtual camera in this scene that I put, and I put a render texture to this camera, and as you see in this side, you can see the webcam that is in real time recording from the Kinect. It's already outside the drone, but yeah, this project is about getting data. As you can see, there is a camera in this side of this that I made, and create this texture. It's somehow a virtual camera in this scene that I put, and yeah, as I said, this camera and this story in this side, the webcam that is in real time recording from the Kinect. It's already outside the drone, but yeah, this project is about getting data. As you can see, there is a camera in this side of this that I made, and create this texture. It's somehow a virtual camera in this scene that I put, and yeah, as I said, this camera and this story in this side. And for the technical side, I use Unity 3D. Use this somehow spherical rendering, and yeah, it was a good experience to do this and find new aspects of presenting world in this medium. Yeah, as you see in the eye of parrot, with the eye of parrot.
Couple of seconds, we switch for next scene.
Yeah, and in this scene I try to experience a little bit with geometries and patterns of movement, which is also happening in so much in our architect. And yeah, as you see, that the concept is the same to other scenes, and as you see in the eye of parrot, there is a random
Couple of seconds, we switch for next scene.
Put like almost 300, I think, pairs in the scene, and they are rotating and moving each other in a specific pattern that I design and write. And in each eye there is a camera that's recording outside the room and showing inside their eyes. Yes, please. Yeah, and sorry for the delay between loading the scenes, because yeah, the rendering of this amount of pixels at the same time requires so much performance. And yeah, in this scene also, as you see, there is a parrot rotating around, and I write the shader that makes some change on the objects that are floating around. And also, as the same, the parrot has an eye that's showing the render to texture that's happening in a corner of the scene. I think they are going for the next scene.
Okay, so I can present you, or I can introduce you to our working station, behind the scenes kind of. I didn't expect that, fine, but here is our Unity station. We send data to another server, Smooth, and this is our sound station, and we kind of audio visualize the spaces inside the dome. And we are still experimenting with the dome. It's our new space, or like a playground, let's call it, because this is a platform that we have not had the chance to try out or test out our works and transform them into dome installation. But now we are very happy that we have a dome. It's our new toy or playground, I would say. I give the speech back to Alejandro Martin.
Hello again. I'm very happy that efficient work he's doing here in Espronceda. And now I have some questions to you, because we are talking to a million people audience that is in internet, and we wish to know how they could know more about you, know more about this project, because you say it's a working process. And also, please tell us about your next step, that you go to a residency in Stuttgart.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Yeah. About this project, to be honest, at this quarantine time, I was focused a lot on just starting new projects and more like productive mode. And I will soon put put some theories and visuals about this project online, because until now I was just work on it and research on it. And in the soon, because I almost have like 4 different scenes and 4 different somehow episodes of this project done. So soon I will put in, and you can find in Espronceda and Immersiva channel. And for my upcoming projects, I have another research topic that I'm working on for almost 1.5 years. It's about an old Iranian bibliomancy, which is about future telling with Hafiz poetry. And I'm trying, in this project, I'm trying to combine this future telling tradition into a VR artwork somehow. And somehow the aim of this project is creating a prediction machine based on Iranian tradition that we had, and almost works, and so many people believe in it, so many books about it. And I'm really glad that this project is already selected for a residency in Stuttgart, Academy of Solitude, and hopefully in the beginning of this October I will go there and continue this project. And this is my most sharp future project.
Wonderful. And I will ask you about the curatorial theme of this exhibition, that is the Amazonia. Amazonia is a complex living organism in itself. Is a big equilibrium between several species, and also microclimates, big rivers, etc. How do you feel in the work that you were showing to us is influencing to you this equilibrium that we have in the earth, that is part of our traditions, also because you were talking about the traditions that in your next project, but also about, as you say also in your project, about our predictions. What is your artistic point of view about the prediction of the equilibrium of the Earth, this Gaia hypothesis in your work?
Yeah, my works usually are more focused on like finding somehow some common points between the tradition, more mysticist tradition, and digital technologies. And I just, for myself, I try to find it in this combination, but maybe it's not so much 100% related to the like physical happening in the world, but maybe somehow is related. But what I'm looking for in my works is trying to make this combination to improve this digital technology, to find some new aspects, to tell us more about future, tell us more about, and I mean in terms of finding some magics or finding something that be more unpredictable. Yeah, and also I really like the multicultural theme of this like curating, and also the artists that work in different mediums, but all together with, like in same dome and somehow presenting way. Thank you. And I'm really glad to be a part of this amazing project.
Thank you. Perhaps we could invite again to the stage to Cenk and to Anne also to ask this question I was creating. Okay. How they see, because we are talking about the Gaia hypothesis, how we live in a continuous equilibrium in the Earth. Perhaps you could explain to the audience your ideas after also creating the project you did. What are your visions of what we need to improve the equilibrium in the Earth?
Yeah. I think, thank you. I can start and give you the speech, because this was also the initial idea how we started this project, which we mentioned before, was the idea that when we spoke about the spheres, so now we understood that our global village or global connectedness is fragile. Fragile because of what we created, and what we have, the way how we live in this reality is also so open for any kind of a collapse in any sense, right? But that means we are understanding that we as human species are not the ones that are only the leaders or the only inhabitants of this Gaia, of the Earth, but we coexist with other entities, with viruses, with animals, with any kind of spheres, right? And I think it's a very relevant question in most of our projects here at Amazonia program that most of us are trying to deal with, like to kind of give a larger message, to kind of express a larger thought behind a small installation. We know it's a small installation, but there's a background of ideas that deals with the notion of the Earth, the notion of Gaia and human. What is the material of human? What is the substance of human? What makes us human in this age? That's kind of fragile, right? That we cannot answer anymore. These are my thoughts. What would you say?
again, the title above human, the word epidemic, this being upon humanity, upon people, being this we found very interesting, right, having this parallelism of the virus being a force that transforms our way of living our lives. So it influences privately, publicly, and right, everything. It's prime is unterritorial, is an entity that really changed us in a subtle way in the end. It is not graspable when we talk about it. Right. We cannot visualize it. This is the primary reason why we're starting this project, because we wanted to have a feedback to this amount of numbers that we were seeing every day, that was growing and growing and growing and decreasing and influencing us, but we're just numbers, right, abstract entities.
Yeah.
We needed to make it more
visible. Yes, visible. And now we are take these ideas to the next project that is more based in the rituals that the ancient cultures were developing, because this equilibrium with nature, with not only the biosphere but also all the equilibrium with the volcano, with the rivers, with all the elements that the earth is composed, means that we need to understand that we are a part of a global thing. And in the next project I will present to you is a project developed by the artist Josecarlos Flores, and it's based in an ancient ritualistic ceremony. Please, Josecarlos, came to the stage.
Hi, Alejandro. Hi, guys. How are you doing? So,
please.
Okay, my name is Josecarlos Flores. I am a digital artist from Peru that lives and works in Barcelona. I'm an independent researcher too. My research area is focused on the use of open source technologies with the art, and the fusion with the art. In this way, I get involved. I work in projects that involve robotics, digital fabrication, Internet of Things, physical data visualization, generative audiovisuals, XR projects. So in this case, I have to show, I'm going to show a project called Temazcalli. Temazcalli is a pre-Hispanic ritual that take from Mesoamerican indigenous cultures. So this ritual, magical ritual, takes part inside of a dome structure. This dome structure represents the womb of the earth. So with this project, we try to represent that we're gonna be inside of the earth, and we are gonna reborn again. I want to say a special thanks to Alejandro, to Stargazer team, for this amazing opportunity to be here showing these works, working with amazing artists, as an amazing team that we are not completely physical here, because we know that we are living in difficult situation about the sanitary situation that we are living with for coronavirus. But in this case, we use the technology on the way to create a project, but using this like virtual and physical world. So when people was working here, creating the dome and creating the content on the dome, but there was another artist who was in the United States, Germany, Austria, Finland, that they can come here, but they help us with the ideas, with programming, with as digital artists, I think we use the technology in a right way to create something amazing, I think. Bueno, también quiero hablar en español para todas las personas que están en Perú viéndonos y que pues no saben hablar inglés. Les cuento de que yo soy un artista peruano, Josecarlos Flores. Soy un artista de los nuevos medios que vive y trabaja en Barcelona. Estoy interesado en el uso de las tecnologías open source aplicadas al arte. Esto me ha llevado a mí a trabajar en proyectos que involucran la robótica, el sonido, las imágenes generativas, la iluminación, el Internet de las cosas, la visualización de datos, y en este último año, gracias al apoyo de Espronceda y de Inmensiva y de Alejandro, pues he empezado un proyecto de investigación en el cual desarrollo una cosa que yo llamo instrumentos aumentados. ¿Qué sería un instrumento aumentado? Un instrumento aumentado es un instrumento al cual, mediante el uso de la tecnología, lo transformamos y lo dotamos de nuevas formas de interacción. For the people that don't understand this, right now I'm going to speak in English, saying that I work in projects that my research right now, thanks to Inmensiva and to Espronceda, I start to develop augmented instruments. What I call augmented instruments, it's like a regular instrument that with technology you can get new ways of interaction. In this case, for this particular case, I've hacked an analog synthesizer, and with my self-made software I can create 3D environments generated by the MIDI data generated by the MIDI instruments. So right now the project that I'm going to show called Temazcalli, as I said before. So Temazcalli, it's how it works. It creates a 3D audio reactive environment, getting the data, MIDI data, from the analog synthesizers. In the Temazcalli ritual, there is something very interesting. That is that before you get inside the dome or the ritual, you build the dome. So in this case, I think we made this ritual because, as me was the only artist who live here in Barcelona, I start to talk with the people from to work with digital fabrication to see the possibility to create a 6-meter diameter dome inside the gallery. This was a very nice opportunity to create something huge with robots, because I contact, for example, with Matías Ferrero and Ascon Architecture. They use the parametric design to design this dome, and then they give this information to the robotic arm, and this robotic arm cut all the pieces that then we put together to create the dome here. So I think for all of us, we make a ritual. We are living right now in a ritual. We are doing a ritual because we build the dome and we now create the content of the dome. So this last month for me has been one of the most wonderful experiences in my professional career. I want to say thanks again to Alejandro, to all the artists, to all the people behind here in Espronceda, amazing team. Say thanks to my family too. Saludos a mi familia en Perú. Y también, bueno, para todas las personas que lo pueden disfrutar. So, at this time maybe we are going to see what happened here. I'm gonna show you first my setup, because this is as I said before, immersive audiovisual performance. Come here. Okay, in this time, this is my setup. This is analog synthesizer. that send MIDI data to this software called BVV. It's an open source software where I create the visuals, I create the content, and I just now gonna play this instrument. I'm not gonna touch nothing on BVV, and the 3D environment is gonna generate just with the MIDI data that I'm gonna say when I'm gonna play here. So right now maybe we can go inside to check while I perform. that's it. This is just part of the project that we are going to show all this week here. For Ars Electronica, we just made this small presentation, but for the people who is going to be here physically in Barcelona, we are going to make something nice and long, and we are going to be here until Sunday, showing this stuff. Well, as I told before, I use open source technology. This is like where I get the data. For example, if I push one button here, I can watch the reaction. If I push another button, we check another reaction. So in this way, I like map the different notes of this instrument, then use this data from each button or from each note to control parameters of the visual, generative visual. We are using a Korg electrode, then MSI computer with BBB software, and then another server with Smoke. Smoke is the software that take the responsibility to share the 3D environment that I generate to send this data to the beamers, to the projectors. So I can show you something else if you want. Okay, give me 2 minutes to prepare, and I'm gonna Okay, guys, for the time, I think we are going to continue with Alejandro because we don't have enough time. We have just 1 hour and a half. But if you are here in Barcelona or near to Barcelona, please come here. We are going to be until Monday. We are going to be here with all the protocols for come and visit and take part of these rituals, digital rituals.
Thank you very much, Josecarlos. And I have a final question for you because your work was very inspiring and it makes feel very well the people. And also the sound. What about the sound? Are you the composer?
Yes, it's my sound. I don't consider myself a composer. I just enjoy playing with rhythms. I used to do it with online software to create like rhythms. And then a friend of mine showed me the possibilities of the MIDI instruments, the machine, the sequencers. So I changed the online software for this sequencer that is very easy to use. I just plug and play, don't need to go through any computer. Play, watching YouTube, a lot of YouTube tutorials. In this quarantine I can take a lot of tutorials about synthesizers and about the create rhythms. So I don't consider myself like a musician, just a guy who makes like rhythms, and play with that. It's the first time that I showed this. I never usually do. I do the sound. I all the time work with another musician, professional musician, but in this case, as I feel comfortable, and I say, okay, let's go and experiment. So I think Ars Electronica is for this, for think out of the box and try to getting out of the comfort zone. So was an amazing experience that I did before. So I'm very, very happy to be part of this, part of Invensiva or Espronceda, and I hope the next open calls, all the people or the artists from the world can send his curriculums, because here we're creating an international, nice, high-tech artist community, and we are ready to share with more people. So we are gonna be here for a while, I think.
Thank you very much, Josecarlos.
Okay, I'll have
thank you. And now, before talking about our big project that we're presenting in Ars Electronica, that is Stargazer, that is an innovative project, that is a product of very brilliant and clever minds. I want to introduce you in the short the project of an artist that is not with us but is in Atlanta, Kris Pilcher, and he sent to us a 4-dimensional travel guide. What's that? It's very easy. You just need to go into Android or iOS and to download this application. This application allows you to go in this 4-dimensional reality. This the game he suggests is you could upload photographies, pictures, the spaces you are, and you. If I show you in this 3D map, you have also other realities that are around, that are these multicolor caps. And now I think the best is that you be in contact with the creator, with Kris, that could introduce much better his work. Finally, we are showing to you a huge project that for us was a challenge, because it's connecting the real world and the virtual, using different technologies like the full dome technology, but also the virtual reality in Mozilla Hub, and creating 2 parallel walls, but 2 walls that are interconnected, and the people who are there could communicate with each other. And now I want to introduce again to Cenk Guzelis, that is going to talk a little more about this wonderful project. And also I want to thank all the artists involved, that is Kris Pilcher, Cenk, Josecarlos, Quadrature, Mohsen Harzati, Burkhard, Esbai Hofer, Matthew Gunn, and our curator in Finland, Santeri Suominen. And now, Cenk, please continue speaking about the project.
Hello again, that's me again, Cenk Guzelis. I'm going to try to explain a little bit or quickly the Stargazer project, and of course it's a collective project from all around the world. We have artists like Kris Pilcher, me myself, Josecarlos, Flores, Quadrature, Mohsen, Burkhard, Schweighofer from Innsbruck, who did an amazing job to connect Mozilla hubs to Unity environment, meaning the dome installation, and Matthew Gunn from US, and our great curator, Santeri Suominen. So the Stargazer installation is a hybrid installation, which is an experiment based on the Platonic solids of Kepler, which was one of the first representation of the universe. And we were, of course, inspired by Ars Electronica's curatorial text about the Kepler's gardens, And as an initial idea, we decided to, in these difficult times, we were always in communication, and then we wanted to come up with a platform that bridges the physical, like disabilities of the physical space and expanding into virtual. And then we came up with a very interesting concept, or our curators came up with a very interesting concept, and we kind of challenged the limits of it, and we tried to do our best with coming up with something that we didn't know what it is. And it's the exciting part about it that we made a collective work that grows and that we don't know what it is exactly. So the Stargazer, what it does is, specifically speaking, as we have shown before, we have a dome structure in Espronceda, and we have a Mozilla Hubs environment, and these spaces are connected. How is it connected? We are using live streaming services, we are using APIs, we are using some tools inside the Mozilla Hubs to bring the virtual participants' experience within the Mozilla Hubs into the physical environment. In that experience, in that virtual experience inside the Mozilla Hubs room, you will go through the Kepler's Platonic solids model, and in the center of the Platonic solids, there's a spherical object which is a live stream from the physical space into the virtual. So as a virtual participant, you will be able to enter the virtual room, and through that virtual room, come and visit us in Barcelona. What you can do, how you can participate, you will follow the instructions at the entrance room. I can quickly tell you what you can do. You can bring your object with yourself, you can write down your memories, you can communicate with other people, as Mozilla Hubs can offer that. And what we want you to do is to capture a moment from that space, a frame from that space, and that frame will float in real time to our installation. So that is coming back again to the curatorial text. Who watches us when we watch the stars is the main kind of inspiration of the Stargazer. So what we do is that we in real time watch virtual in physical, and vice versa, we can watch what's happening in physical from virtual. It's a bit of a paradoxical or like inception-like space, and it's an experiment. And the last couple of days we had the chance to establish the connection, everything works perfectly, and we are now testing out where else we can take that project. Yesterday we had a very interesting discussion with our curators and artists that we have created something that we don't know, but we know that it has a lot of potential and it will go somewhere in the future. But what is more interesting is that we need your participation. So please check out the Mozilla Hubs links and join and participate and come and visit us here in Barcelona virtually, but you will be in a physical space. So I'm going to show you now a couple of moments from the interaction and like how you can interact. Maybe here in the screen I can show you a little bit. As you can see, we have a Mozilla Hubs room. This Mozilla Hubs room starts with an airlock, and we enter the space from Ars Electronica room. We played our way around as we are using our own servers that is using certain APIs. This is our way around to enter Stargazer. So, oh wow, here we lose the gravity by pressing G, and we can see here, if I fly to see what people have left here, I'm gonna see some objects that are left by people when the stars watch us and so on. And if I go to the core of the models, maybe some of us can go inside so we can see them. We have someone inside, okay. There might be a bit of a delay. So this is what we want from you. We want you to take pictures, create some environments. There you go. We have Anna inside. Oh, voila. And now I can drop any object here. And I can, okay. and I can use a capture tool that will allow me to take a picture together with Anna. 2, 1, and then what I have to do is that I need to take this picture and pin it in the space. The moment that we pin the picture in the space, it floats into our dome installation. So now we can try to recall some images that we have seen in the virtual room. Those snaps that we have seen, some handwritten text, like we up here, stars. And so what we are displaying here is the amount of memories that were left by virtual participants. And in the meantime, in virtual, we can enter the live projection room and be a part of this installation. You can contact us anytime and share your ideas, your comments. We will be happy to learn from your experience and we'll be very happy to exchange with you. It's a project that has just started and it will continue further for sure. And thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much to be with us in Solar Orchard Garden, Barcelona during 1 hour and a half. I hope that you enjoyed all the works we show here. We are waiting your visits online, and also the people who is around in Barcelona. He's welcome to be here in Espronceda. Very happy to contribute to Ars Electronica 2020. And thank you very much to all the organization of Ars Electronica. Also thank you to all the team of Espronceda for this amazing work. And see you soon here in Barcelona. We are welcoming people every day, every time. See you soon.